Hi and welcome to JohnRayner.tv. This afternoon I'm just sitting back a little exhausted actually, listening to some jazz and relaxing and just contemplating. I've recently got back from a whirlwind tour across California and doing some TV interviews for my new book, Confident, Powerful and Persuasive Public Speaking. But the reason for this video is to ask you a question. Who is your mentor? Who is your mentor, or who are your mentors, plural? And the reason I'm asking this, I'm just contemplating about when I was in San Diego and sitting on the bay at a bar looking at the water and the boats and just the atmosphere and the culture of the people, the environment. It was amazing. And a gentleman in his 60s approached me. He introduced himself as Greg, really relaxed guy, extremely wealthy, I found out following. He had pulled in and moors his boat in the harbor there at San Diego. But the bottom line is we got talking, and in fact we ended up having dinner for about an hour and a half, talking and having dinner for about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. And an amazing guy, like I said, in his 60s. Very accomplished, and about an hour into the conversation, because he's obviously well versed in business and experienced in business, I said, Greg, who's your mentor, or who would you say has been your greatest mentor? And he said something really admirable. He said, my father. He said, my dad, who passed away. What happened is his dad, who came from literally nothing in California, had started and grown a hardware store company, only small family business, private independent, but ended up with 16 stores and all of them profitable. And so when we continue to talk about Greg's father, I said, what would you say are the three keys or skills that you learned from him that you've applied in your own professional career? He said, John, he said, number one, he said, my father was constantly learning. It reminds me of Sam Walton of the large brand, who was constantly in learning mode, and there's story after story about that. But going back to Greg's father, number one, he was constantly learning. Number two, Greg said that his father was so impressive with people, from the cleaner to providers to customers. Extremely impressive with people by having a great attitude with them the majority of the time. And number three, he said his father was an avid planner, a constant planner. Never ever considered that the plan that he had was the only way. Was very flexible, very open to change, and constantly planning. And so that really got my attention, because it makes me think about my own life. Obviously, for the past 25 years, I've sought different mentors. That can be indirectly by way of books, indirectly by way of conferences and other means. And then, of course, I've had some wonderful, wonderful people in my life. People who mentor me in business, people who mentor me in investment and in property. And I could mention a number of names, but I haven't asked for their permission. And so, again, the question is, who's your mentor? And ultimately, the result of Greg being mentored by his father, who started and owned 16 profitable stores, hardware stores, is that Greg not only took over the business when his father passed away a number of years ago, Greg also grew the business in terms of profit, and then went on to invest in a few other companies, and now basically sails around the world in his, I think it's something like a 57, 67 foot motored yacht. So he's enjoying life, all because he was mentored. So who's your mentor? Think about that, and hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you again on JohnRayner.tv.